Hello everyone, welcome back to my Tech Stack Learning channel. I hope everybody is doing really great. So in today's session, we will be walking through the coding session or we are deep diving into the core of building command line tools. Okay, so we will learn three essential skills where we need on this command line for Node.js. First one is how to accept arguments from the command line, the how to output message clearly using the console, and how to interact with users by accepting the real-time input. Okay, these are the three key topics we are going to cover with live codings. Okay, so let's jump right in and make the scripts interactive and dynamic, guys. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just create a folder for CLI coding. Okay, then I will create the first file called arg.js. Okay, so where we are trying to where we in this file in nodejs, basically every command line argument you pass is accessible using the process.argv. Okay, so let's go ahead and write the code. So first we need to uh, whatever we are passing the argument, right? We should be getting those argument in from the command lines to this, right? So what we will do here is I'll put args equal to process dot argv dot slice of two, because I'll be passing two arguments. Okay, and I'll be passing two or three. Okay, so here what I'm trying to say is process.argv is something that it's inbuilt elements of the Node.js, which allows us to pass the arguments via the command line, and it can be accessible in the code. The first two elements basically are the node element and the script element, right? Node and script. So we are telling that you just remove those first two slides, and whatever the remaining arguments are there, right? We will be taking those and using it in our code. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm just typing, I'm just trying to print. Okay, so arguments received are, okay, so I'll just print args. Okay, now what I'll do here is I'll just go to CLI. Now what I'll do here, node arg, then I'm going to pass hello text stack, and then 1 2 3. Okay, let's see what all it is going to print. You can see it has converted those into a list of arrays, and it has picked all the arguments whatever we have passed from the whatever we have passed from the command line, right? So here another thing which we can make it a little fancy here is we can destructure the values for specific use case, right? For example, we will treat the first argument as name or whatever it is, right? And the second as an age. Then you can log them with the message like this. Okay, so what we will do here is assume for me the first element whatever I'm passing, assume it could be a name, right? So what I'll do here is I'll just create const name comma age. Okay, then I will be placing that as process dot argv dot slice of two. That means I don't want the first two elements. Okay, then what I'll do is console dot log of, then I'll place name colon, then I'll put name. Okay, and then I'll put is it, age colon, then I'll put age. Okay. So what I'll do here is, instead of passing this, what I'll do is I'll pass text tag and age as 30. Okay. Name it has pulled as text tag and the age as 32. This is another destructuring and using however you want to use it. Okay. This is about how you can pass the argument and how you can use it in your code. Okay, so now let's see, now let's look at how putting the data to the terminal in different formats, right? That is one of the aspect when we work on this Node.js, right? It should be the structured and things, correct? So what I'll do here is I'll create another file called output.js, okay? Just inside this I'll put one file called output.js, okay? And here what I'll do is I'll try to print three ways of, to take an example, right? Let's try to use the console.log. That's the basic. We will just start with console.log, which shows the normal message, and then we will use the console.error to simulate the error output, and then we will use the console.table to show how it can be structured properly. Okay, so console dot log of, so this we can put, this is a normal message. Okay, then we can put console dot error, this is an error message. Okay, and last we will do is console dot table. Okay, so here what we are actually trying to do is we are structuring the output. Okay, so here what I'll do, I'll just have one element id 1 comma name, one second, name text tag. Okay, name one sec, I'll just go back here. Name text tag. Okay, now I'll create another one similar okay, I'll just copy paste this and give a second id, so it will be id2 learning. Okay, this is how I'm going to print it. Now let's see, so here what we're doing is we have created an array of object with some of the details and we are outputting it as a table. So let's run this, and you can see how this has been structured and given the output in the table, right? You will see the nicely formatted output, like great for debugging whenever it is required, right? And here this output can also be passed back to the file. Okay, this is how you will be using it, especially console.table is something very much useful for logging the objects of the array neatly and readable format. Okay, so now let's see the last topic of this session, which is accepting input from the command line, which is basically being very interactive, right? Like we will be using some of the modules given by the Node.js to accept the input during runtime. Okay, so let's start making our Node.js script very interactive. Okay, so let's accept the live user input from the terminal and see how that works in the coding, right? So now I'll just close this and I'll try to create a new file here called input.js. Okay, and what I'll do here is I will be I will need a module named readline. Okay, built-in readline module, which is basically useful for this interactive way of getting the inputs. Okay, so what I'll do here is const readline equal to require of readline. Okay, This is basically an inbuilt module. Okay. And with this, what we will do is we'll set up a simple interface to take input from the input std in, and then ask the user what's your name. Okay. When they answer, we greet them with a message and close the input string. Okay. So let's go ahead and write that. So I'll just give const a variable equal to, we will use readline dot create interface. Okay, this is the module given by this particular function given by this module to get the input. Okay, so it can accept the input from the command line. Okay, std in. Okay, this is where we, whatever we are passing, it can take it, and output, it's again std dot output, std output. Okay, this is how you call the interface model. Now what we will do here is we will just call a, will form a question. Okay, so question, what I'm going to ask is, what's your name? This is my question. Okay, then whatever the user is asking, right, or whatever the user is sending back, I'll store it as a answer, as an input, and then I will try to print that, okay, as an output back to the user. So I'll just do hello, okay, answer. Then I will closing this thing. Okay, this is how the um, basic interactions what we can do. So what I'll do here is I'll call this, and you can see what's your name. This is the question I have given. I'll give text stack learning. You can see it has taken hello text stack learning. This is how you can make it more interactive, right? Apart from this, right, basically if you want to do a modern approach, we can also use the readline dot promise or async await for cleaner code, especially when we are having a multiple questions. Okay, so this technique is basically powerful when we are building a full featured CLI apps that need user decisions during the runtime. Okay, so these are the things on this particular interactive module. Okay, so that's it for this particular session, and I hope you have now learned how to accept arguments using process.argv and how to output message very neatly and cleanly, and take your user inputs interactive with the readline model, right? These are the essential skills for building powerful Node.js command line tools and automation scripts. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from Tech Stack Learning. Drop a comment below if you want to see more CLI related options. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next session.